advanced and alternative modalities of heart disease. There are many types of heart disease. That nowadays you can see that the heart disease is the leading cause of death, and that is mainly caused due to some lifestyle changes and medicines. And these are the things which is causing some the impact in the health of the people. First, let us see the coronary artery disease. The coronary artery disease is the common heart problem, and here what is happening mainly, there is blockages occurring in the coronary artery disease that diminish the blood supply to the heart. So the blockage, if it's decreasing, the decreased blood supply to the myocardium, that condition we call it ischemic heart disease. And if there is a complete cut of blood supply to myocardium, it may leads to the myocardial infarction. Heart arrhythmias. So here you know that the normal rhythm is sinus rhythm, and so if the conduction system, if there is any abnormality, so because SA node is called the pacemaker of the heart, and if SA node is not functioning properly due to any condition like cardiac tamponade or basal vehicle attack or complete heart failure or Paul pulmonale, these are the condition, there may be an occurrence of arrhythmia will be occurring. So serious arrhythmia may be causing a lethal problem to the patient, may leads to cardiac arrest. And the heart failure is nothing but the inability of the heart to pump, to meet the metabolic demands of the body. It may be caused due to myocardial infarction or thyroid disease or high blood pressure or even iron deficiency anemia. And heart wall disease, that is a congenital heart disease, it may be occur at the time of the birth. And so here what will happen, there may be a mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, and abnormality will be finding in the opening or closing of the valve, and it happens, so what will happen, the blood flow may block or can leak. So the valve may open and close right, may not close and open in a right time. And coming to the advanced modalities for coronary artery disease, here nowadays the robots plays a vital role in the treatment modalities and the diagnostic management of the coronary artery disease. And in recently that in surgery and the radiotherapy that these robots has been used. So here the mainly mitral valve repair and coronary artery bypass graft and septal defective closure. Additionally, that robot also was used in the surgical along with the surgical team. And here you can see that the treatment modalities of coronary artery disease. So coming to the nanotechnology, here we have percutaneous coronary intervention and coronary artery bypass graft, gene therapy and drug delivery. And in stem cell therapy, it helps to increase blood flow to the coronary arteries, and it also helps in the cardiac cell regeneration. And in robotic helps in the percutaneous coronary intervention and coronary artery bypass graft, and in others even new modalities of drugs and 3D printing in the ecosystem also used. Angioplasty and stent placement for the heart. Coronary angioplasty, it helps to improve the blood supply to the coronary artery. So here a tiny, you can see the stent. So the stent will be placed along with the catheter. So once the catheter, that is the balloon, is occur in the particular blocked artery, we will be inflating. So the stent will be placed in the particular area. So it helps to improve the blood flow. Stem cell therapy for heart disease, mainly ischemic heart disease. So it is a new alternative treatment. It is a non-surgical treatment option, so helps to improve the cardiac function and the blood flow. And the cardiac stem cells, mainly it will be derived from the cardiomyocytes, and it helps to rebuild the patient's heart tissue. And so here we can improve the lifespan of the patient. And coming to the coronary artery bypass bypass graft surgery, it is a surgical treatment to treat coronary artery disease. So if the patient's blockage is more than 70% and triple vessel disease, mainly we will prefer for the coronary artery bypass graft. So here a pieces of vein from the leg and the artery from the chest, so mainly internal mammary artery and saphenous venous graft will be taken as a form of stent, and it will be anastomosed to the patient. Updates in the management of coronary artery disease. The review article in 2023 December, dual antiplatelet treatment. So that is along with the painkillers, P2Y2 receptor agents such as combination of clopidogrel, prasugrel and ticagrel have become a key approaches for individuals with a percutaneous coronary intervention. And new treatment option for coronary artery disease, it's an article posted on September 25, 2023, that is intravascular lithotripsy. So like renal calculi, we will be doing the lithotripsy the same way for the coronary artery disease. Here we are giving the intravascular lithotripsy. So it's a type called shock wave lithotripsy. So here we will be inserting a balloon based technique where we deliver a special balloon at the site of the atherosclerosis or the plaque, and we will be delivering a shock. So these waves break and crack all the calcium made up of the tissues, that is plaque, and this technique has been proven to be safe and effective when compared with other techniques. Then acupuncture, so the several studies revealed that 87 to 100% trusted in the acupuncture, it will be help to revert to normal heart rhythm. So research published in Cardiovascular Electrophysiology suggests that acupuncture may help to prevent abnormal heart rhythm. Then omega-3 fatty acids, the American Heart Association trusted the 3 fatty acids, it will lower the heart disease and helps to prevent arrhythmias. So that is salmon, mackerel, herring, sardines and albacore tuna. Then catheter ablation and its role in arrhythmia management. So commonly we will call it as an electrophysiology procedure. So here the femoral vein will be puncturing and guided the wire through the fluoroscopy and the electroanatomic mapping, provide real-time 3-dimensional heart mapping. So here we will be allowing the arthrogenic areas. So here once we are identifying the abnormal heart beat, the catheter will be positioned in the direct contact with the tissue, and the energy will be applied to generate the controlled deletion. So as a result, we can interrupt the abnormal electrical pathway and we can restore the normal sinus rhythm. Device interventions and holistic arrhythmia management. So here mainly we will be using the implantable cardiac devices like pacemakers we will be keeping inside the heart. So examine the most recent technological advancement, so miniaturization, enhanced battery life. So implantable cardiac devices are small electronic devices surgically implanted in the thorax of the chest. Coming to advancing insights and innovative treatment strategies in cardiac arrhythmias, the article published in 71/2023. So here mainly implantable loop recorders are the tiny devices. So sometimes the patient may be having some premature lesion arrhythmia, or because so Holter monitoring, sometimes we may not be able to monitor all the things. Such cases we will be keeping an implantable loop recorders. So it's a tiny devices record the heart's electrical activity for lengthy periods. So because Holter monitor we can keep it for 1 or 2 days, maximum 3 days, but implantable loop recorders will be helps to record maximum up to 3 years. Especially it will help to identify and assessing the arrhythmia that is not happening frequently and challenging in treating some type of. Advanced and alternative modalities in heart failure, that is neurohormonal activation. So So here sometimes the patient's cardiac output reduced and renin-angio, in case if you want to activate the renin-angiotensin aldosterone system, we will be using the neurohormonal activation. So sympathetic nervous system in response to increased ventricular wall stretch, that is atrial natriuretic peptide or ANP and B-type natriuretic peptide. These peptides mainly have a diuretic effect and vasodilatory effect. Then coming to the implantable devices, here mainly pacemaker, we will be keeping for heart failure patients, dysynchronic characteristic by delayed or uncontrolled contraction of ventricle. So normally we will know the contraction of the atria followed by contraction of ventricle. So if there is any, if the ventricle is not able to contract after the atrial contraction, so we will be keeping the implantable device. Ventricular assist devices. So the ventricular assist devices are mechanical pumps implanted in patients with advanced heart failure. So this ventricular assist device mainly helps to assist the weakened heart and it helps to improve the pumping function. So because we know that heart failure patient, the heart will not be able to function, pump it properly. So here it will be helpful in the pumping system. So adequate amount of blood will be ejected from the aorta so that it will meet the metabolic demands of the body. Remote monitoring. So the remote patient monitoring, it's a wearable device. So mainly the people those are coming from the rural areas, the medical aid is not accessible. This type of wearable devices we will be using, such as wireless scales, blood pressure cuffs, smartphones, that collect metrics like weight, blood pressure, heart rate and oxygen saturation. So what it will do, so these wearable devices, it will be collecting all the hemodynamic status of the patient and it will be transmitted, the collected information will be transmitted to the healthcare providers or the healthcare agencies to detect the patient condition changes. Implantable hemodynamic monitoring. So the implantable hemodynamic monitors are small devices implanted in the pulmonary artery. So mainly it will be measuring the pulmonary artery pressure, providing the real-time data on patient's hemodynamic status. Artificial intelligence applications, that is machine learning and artificial intelligence have gained traction in heart failure management. So mainly algorithms, so the patient's rhythm can analyze, including clinical imaginary laboratory data. We can compare with the clinical laboratory data with the patient rhythm and we can identify the higher risk of the patient. Advancements in heart failure management, that is comprehensive narrative review of emerging therapies. The article published in 2023 October. So the novel drug classes, sodium glucose co-transporter inhibitors have emerged as a groundbreaking class of drugs in heart failure management. So here it has several benefits in the cardiovascular system. It will be acting as an osmotic diuretics and natriuresis, and it will reduce the blood volume and it will increase the cardiac output. Stem cells and cardiac regeneration. Embryonic stem cell can develop into new cardiomyocytes, replacing the damaged tissue, and it will help to improve the cardiac. Advanced modalities of heart valve disease. So that is mainly the nowadays diagnosing the heart valve disease or the congenital heart disease is most challenging for the cardiologist. So it's introduced, that is three-dimensional echocardiograph. It helps to diagnose the that valvular heart disease, that congenital heart disease in an easy way. So it had the most impact on the diagnosis of valvular heart disease in real three-dimensional echocardiography. So these guidelines reveal the significant data supporting the improved accuracy and reproducibility in 3D imaging. And mainly here we can identify the ventricular volume and mass. Intracardiac echocardiography. So it's recently introduced in USA. Intracardiac echocardiography. Here 10 French catheter will be inserted into the patient in a 22x90 real-time volume image. This small volume represents the field application, and it helps to assess the structural heart disease. Radiation-induced aortic stenosis, an update treatment modalities published in January 2nd, 2023. So here, echocardiography findings on radiation-induced cardiotoxicity is a 54-year-old woman presenting a center with, she was reported in a center in a healthcare agency with a dyspnea. Actually, she had a history of Hodgkin's lymphoma and she was treated with chemotherapy and mediastinal radiation 36 years prior. And in a short axis view of the aortic wall, so they found there is a calcification of all leaflets. So aortic mitral continuity calcifications, so it causes toxicity, and she reported as having pericardial thickening and calcification. So here, color Doppler assessment of aortic wall 3-chamber view showed a turbulent flow. You can see that the blue color, a turbulent flow through a calcification. So the calcification present, and it's a stenotic, so aortic insufficiency was. Bibliography is checked from Complementary and Alternative Medicine American Heart Association and https google.com.